Okay, welcome everybody to the Abington Conservation Commission meeting. Today is July 8th, 2025. And the first order of business is reorganization of the commission. I will step down for chair.
So nominations are open for chair,
Okay,
and I'll nominate Lynn.
all right.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And now nomination for
I'll step
vice chair.
down.
I'm taking nominations for vice chair. I would nominate Alex as vice chair.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And Lynn will take the secretary.
Oh,
Nominations for
secretary.
secretary.
Okay, great. So we'll take a nomination for secretary.
Jean?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations.
Thanks.
We're reorganized again for another year.
Okay, for another
Now we
year.
have a new position.
A new position.
Okay, we're actually going to move one thing around, discussion on enforcement order for 17 Crabtree Lane. So I understand, well, we have in our packet pictures from Brad Holmes of the restoration. Nick and I went out there today. It's looking really good. I don't know, was Brad, here we are, okay. Do you want to speak to what you've done, what your plans
Sure.
are?
Good evening, members of the commission. Brad Holmes with ECR on behalf of Debbie Allison for her property at 17 Crabtree Lane. We carried out the restoration work for the restoration plan. The saplings and shrubs have been planted within the wetland restoration area to include seeding of any of the bare spots. The plantings were mulched, and I think they adequately fill in the restoration area as designed. So we're in the monitoring and maintenance phase of the wetland restoration component. The only work that was not done that Debbie's planning to do at the end of the summer or early fall is the restoration of the lawn. That's just upgrading of the wetland. And we will install a straw wattle prior to that work, but there wasn't, due to the heat in summer, didn't make sense to try to put loam down and seed it and just keep dumping water on it to try to get it to germinate in the heat, and it would just really just probably mainly grow weeds. So we're gonna hold off on that until later and then complete that work. We'll update the commission again with just a simple, update that has been completed, and then at the end of the growing season, we'll evaluate the plantings and update the commission with a monitoring report, and if we have significant amount of die-off, say more than 25%, we'll replace those plantings and include that information in the monitoring report. But so far, so good. We've been able to complete the work as we proposed. And I'll turn it back to you, and I think Debbie's in the audience.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just hold off until the fall. Yeah, all right.
So on the sidewalk, how did that go?
It looked like there were a lot of plantings there. They were really filling in, very green, very healthy, looked really good. My understanding is some of those, I think you mentioned at the last meeting, we had a discussion about some of those larger trees. There's shoots coming up off of that, right?
Right,
I
and
didn't
we'll
get to see that
stump
part.
sprout prune those. So at the end of
Oh.
the growing season, we'll choose one or two of the taller leaders, the stronger leaders, and then we'll prune out the rest. So that will bring along those stump sprouts to, healthy trees. You'll be surprised how quickly those grow.
And we're gonna do another year after that, or one more season of monitoring after that to make sure that we get this set up, right? So we'll have a
Correct.
total of 4 reports, okay. Cool.
Yes.
Okay, so just report back after you do the loom and seed
In the fall.
in the fall. And then we'll just continue it until the growing season next year. Okay.
Sounds good.
Anybody from the audience have any questions? No? Okay. So I think we're good. Any more
Yes, we
questions?
are. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for having us early in your agenda.
Oh,
Thank you.
sure, absolutely. Okay. All right, next up, we have SEO 840592, notice of intent filed by Manuel Ramos to construct a new single-family home with driveway crossing, utilities, and site work, project located off McHugh Circle and Shaw Avenue. Out of the 35, but, no, out of the 25, but he's got a little bit.
It's right on the
This is
corner.
the corner.
Right on the corner.
Okay.
Not bad. Better than before.
Oh, yeah.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. Thank you for indulging us. My name is Azure Tunero. I'm the professional engineer and the professional land surveyor from ET Engineering Enterprises, Inc. of Bridgewater, Massachusetts, responsible for the preparation of the plans. So about a month ago, the Commission had opened the hearing, and there was some discussions, as you may recall. The building was proposed over here with some culverts crossing the stream down halfway about a couple hundred feet from the road. So I guess at that meeting, the commission felt that it was more intrusive, extensive cutting and removal of vegetation, and so indicated that a project that is a little closer. By the way, the idea of putting it over here before was to make sure that all the activities stayed away from the 35-foot no disturb and so on and so forth. Based on the input from the commission at that hearing, we revised the plans, but there was not enough opportunity for the commission to look at the plan, and so we requested a continuation of the hearing to tonight, so that the commission will have had an opportunity to take a look at what we proposed. And so it's less intensive. I have with me Mr. Ramos, in the blue shirt, and Ken Thompson, who did the delineation work and the tree planting details. So if there's any question regarding the elevations, the grading of the project, the placement of the house, that's my expertise. Anything about the arborvitae and so on and so forth, that's why he's here. So he will be available to answer those questions. I think what we have here is a fairly decent proposal that I think addresses the interests of the Wetlands Protection Act as well as the bylaw. And I think the commission, in reviewing the previous application, I think based on the input of the commission, showed a difference to having a balance in proposed activities as well as addressing the interests of the bylaw, which I think makes perfect sense. And so I think what we have here provides that balance. And that's my wife always told me, she says she's never met anybody that loves to hear themselves talk like me. And she's been married to me for 44 years, so
So she must be right.
So I try to heed that advice. So I'll zip my mouth unless there's specific questions, and then I'll answer those questions.
Just a quick question. The limited work area,
Yes, ma'am.
is that dotted line in there?
The orange one, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
You
Okay,
got it?
Line.
okay, so it's gonna come in
Oh, I
and
see.
around that way?
Yes. Yeah.
No? No, yes? We're getting yes or no.
No, no, okay, so if you look at a Ken's plant and plan, that probably shows it a little bit better.
That's the culvert.
So it's kind of just inside the 25-foot.
Just inside, okay. I see it now.
Where
Yeah.
is it?
It was really kind of hard to see on
Where
this.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
all blown
so
up.
the first plan tried to show the overall one.
Can you show it to us, because we don't.
It's right here, isn't this it? It's this line right here?
I think the orange one with the
Oh, I
ECB
see.
Yeah, you see it's ECP on it.
I think that's the one.
kind of runs right around the 25-foot.
Yeah, is this it, right here?
There's
EC, right here, this one right
This is
here.
the 25, right? And then
Yep.
this is the 35.
Maybe if it had been a different color, it would have been easier to see, because it gets so much orange on here,
About 35, 36.
Right here.
27, 28.
Oh, I see,
Right here.
okay,
Distance,
I got
it's
it.
right at 25 here, and then it's around 27, 28 through here.
okay.
So the red's the 25, the orange is limited work, and then the red is the
Okay, so
35.
this is a, yeah, limited.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's labeled in the other plan, but the label's cut off in this one.
All right, can I ask you a question here in the back? So where does this come around here? So like, I see it coming here, and it's coming around, and then all of a sudden, where does it go?
Right out this way.
Well, it follows.
Oh, all right, I
follows
see it, I see, okay.
Yeah, how's that
ECB,
25?
Got it,
along
got
this
it.
side, and then
got
jumps.
it. Yeah, had it been green or something, it would have been probably, oh, well,
Yeah,
maybe
the
not.
orange made it a little tougher.
It did make it a little tough.
Here.
I got it. Did you see it?
Yeah, I'm drawing it out, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like trying to
I was
follow
gonna say, yeah,
it.
because if you go up,
Yeah, all right.
And I believe that what those will be staked first and certified as to the location before any work starts.
So a little teeny part of this goes into the no build. And my question is, typically homes are not perfect rectangles. So I'm just wondering if there's like, and this may be a little bit nitpicky, but it depends on how much square footage is there. Take this little piece and put it there, or I don't know what the plan would be. Move the deck over or something like that.
Well, is the
But-
style of the style of the house. Before it was a colonial, this is more like a raised kind of ranch now.
more of a razor.
To make it fit. So,
Okay.
so it'll be very minimal foundation that goes into the ground, right? Because they don't have a full 8-foot foundation.
Yeah, so you have like a 4-foot foundation,
Yes.
yeah. I think the alternative, this is better than obviously.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
I totally agree.
yeah.
And the other
Why don't we
thing,
open
that
the
thing,
audience and then-
if,
Unless there's any more comments.
Right.
Should we-
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to your comments.
I was just saying that it, even though this is a little bit in the.
I saw that.
build,
Yep,
It's still better than the alternative,
yeah.
going way down the other end. in
It's
my
better
opinion.
than it was before.
You know, for a single-family home,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you're ultimately saving the rest of this five and a
I was
half
gonna say,
acre
if you take
lot.
this whole lot, that
Exactly.
was gonna be destroyed.
Yeah. So the amount of trees to be removed is 19?
Ken, you're up.
Yeah, it was kind of difficult with all the circles, but we finally figured it out. We're impacting 16 and we're replacing 21
Okay,
due to the 2-to-1 in certain zones and things like that. Be aware that the placement of these trees as we have it right now is subject to what the shrubbery is doing up there. We don't have shrubs on the plan. So I tried to put as many within the 25-foot buffer down closer to the wetlands and stuff, and then kind of a screen along the new development to
I
the
like
north.
that.
Yeah, okay.
yep. That sounds good.
I have one question, this is kind of silly.
Okay.
I was just looking at the different species, and there's one red oak, and I was just curious as to,
I think it was,
it was just
we
a
only impacted one.
lonely red oak out there. I was just like, why have just one? I was just curious.
We did it by the species that we were impacting. There's one red, if you
okay.
follow that third column up, it's the fourth one down.
Okay.
That's it, we were just basing on the species we found.
Oh, it's perfect, perfect.
Makes sense.
And all the drainage from the downspouts and everything is gonna go down behind the house?
Yes, I have a roof drain, proposed, if you will, my arrow, on the, this right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oops. You all right? I saw you fall, I thought you were gonna fall. I was like, ooh.
No.
Okay.
No, I still owe a lot of money. My wife doesn't want me to die yet.
I'm asking only because there was some concerns from abutters and people up above on Grant's Place that they were concerned about the water, but if it's behind the house and it's running down,
And then
looking at
all
the
downspouts are
topography.
gonna be tied together.
Yep, yep.
And put into the roof drain recharge.
Yep, I see that. All in here. The 12 by 20 roof drain recharge system, I see that. And I'm looking at the topography and it's all going down towards the school area, right?
It goes like west to east,
This way.
Yeah, all right.
right? Because there's that stream that's
Yeah.
down here and
Because
it,
I know Mr. Geddes was
goes
here.
like that.
Mr. and Mrs. Geddes. Yeah. Well, and that's what I was looking at, because your comments from the last time was a concern, but it looks like from the drawings, as you can see up there, I'm sure he can point it out to you when it's open to the public. You'll, right now, we just,
We have any questions for the board?
yep. All right, so that was good for me.
and do you
But-
have to go to zoning for anything, like?
No,
variances?
that's why, when you were talking about that corner of from on the other side, we have to, if I push it anywhere this, to the west, I will be in violation of zoning.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why it's really, if you notice, it's kind of kitty corner there a little bit.
Yep.
To make sure that I'm avoiding,
Yep.
zoning setbacks.
Sure.
Okay.
Do you want to open it to the public? Well, John, do you have anything?
Oh, no, I'm good. Like I said, it looks a lot better than the original plan.
All right.
And if anybody from the public wants to say anything.
Any members of the public who would like to speak, please go ahead.
Good evening.
Hello, make sure you get up to the mic
Stephen
and
Varn
introduce
Geddes
yourselves.
From Grant's Place.
Get us.
We just have concerns. Is there a water mitigation plan? Because there's 3 sources of water that are feeding right in this area. 3 sources, one here, a big source of water here, big source of water here, and then one here.
When
And
Robert
if the house-
English started building, he had a huge water problem. And then, now we built a retention wall, and that's going behind our house.
But the biggest thing is the water coming from, besides that, excuse me,
Yeah.
is the water coming right down Grants Ave. There's 2 drains, and our backyard gets flooded on a severe rainstorm. We haven't got any water in our cellar yet, but it's only a matter of time. If you block off any water coming from this way or this way, we're gonna get water in our cellar.
I don't think they're gonna be blocking on any water.
Have you ever been,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
no, I'm just saying, I don't think they're blocking off any water.
Oh, okay, so the drains that go here is, what's gonna happen to the drain? The water goes into the woods, into the property behind me,
Right,
and
and I
it stays
think
there, never dries.
the engineer can
I
point
think
out to you.
Ken has a...
Okay, and Ken,
The rainwater comes in,
he's the wetland scientist that was,
they're coming down the hill,
Yep,
but it falls into a ditch here, which
and
has a...
over here,
Well, that's
A
fine.
couple of it does.
This is all wetland back here.
yep,
This water comes in, hits a ditch right there, there's a pipe draining into there,
yep, okay.
okay? And what we're doing is all the roof and everything, we're gonna put it in a subsurface drainage system, so it has to filter through groundwater to come this way.
You know which way you're gonna push it down here?
Well, it's gonna go wherever nature does, everything has
that's what
street.
Okay, that's what I'm afraid of.
That's what
You
we're
got
afraid
water
of.
standing
That's why
right,
nature
okay,
was.
well, you got water all over the place.
But also, what happens if he starts building, and then you have a huge water problem again?
I grew up.
The water from this house is going away from your
Towards
house.
the wetlands, yes.
But what
Can you
happens
point
when-
out like the specifics? Because when we're looking at the plan, we can figure out which way
Yeah,
the water is.
point out to them.
But show them.
Show them the
plan.
elevations and stuff.
Yeah, so all the water from, so no single drop of water from the building is gonna go out that way. We're sending it over here. And then in that, well, the commission in making the comment on the original plan. Maybe they did not intend it that way, but the benefit of that is this runoff that comes across here, nothing happens to it now, as opposed to what we were gonna do before by putting a culvert. So I don't know if the commission was thinking about that, but that's the benefit of them saying, maybe you should reduce the cross here. So this water that comes out here, going out that way, we'll continue to do that. We're not touching that. The water comes out, all the water that comes out here will still go down this way. Now, if you have always had water here, you will continue to have that, but we're not touching that. We're not doing anything past the wetlands. As a matter of fact, in this particular project, it's a benefit to him, to Mr. Ramos, that he has wetlands, because he can't go that way.
Yeah.
So,
Well, my issue is, I'm sure when Robert English started building, he wasn't expecting all that water to come out. So what happens if that happens again?
Yeah, what's the legal liability to the
I mean,
town?
what happens?
well, the
Well, I
difference,
think when Robert English is all done, that will all be addressed.
Yeah.
And he's about done, isn't
But
he?
when you start with, and water comes up again, because Robert English didn't expect that to come up, and it did.
well, if I may add to the commission, when Mr. English started his project, you didn't have as a stringent bylaw as you now have. And so we're actually designing to comply with your bylaw. Under the State Wetlands Protection Act, we don't need to do any recharge whatsoever, right? Because it is exempt under the Wetlands Protection Act. We are not doing 4 residential units, we're not doing a 4-lot subdivision, right? But looking at your bylaw, you went over and above the State Wetlands Protection Act. That's why we're doing this recharge. So I think it's a fairly decent project.
This, in my opinion, is not gonna cause any more water on your property than you have now. The water from this is going the opposite way of
So you're
your
gonna
house.
build a retaining wall? Are you committing to building a retaining
No.
wall if we do get water?
No,
Why not?
because it's not necessary.
All right.
What happens if it is? Can you help us out?
Well, then you can take it up with the owner of the property.
Let's push it off. Thank you.
Well, what do you want, the town to do it for you?
Oh, no, I
I
don't.
want you to make a decent decision here. You put-
I think we made a very good.
This is a
we
lot
haven't
better
made
than
a
the original
decision
plan,
yet.
actually.
But this, from what he wanted to do originally, this is why we asked him to move it up here, because it's better for everybody.
But what I'm saying is,
Would you rather have a 100-foot road going in there with culverts running across that and
That makes
pumping
no sense
everything?
either. That-
That's right, it
That's why
didn't.
we
That's why
changed
we
it.
asked him to do
Property
this.
Makes no sense, period.
Well, it's his property, and he has a right to develop his property, just like whoever developed your house had a right to develop that.
That's
that's
true.
right, I
That's
have
true.
no problem with that. The problem I have is what happens if he starts digging and all of a sudden the water starts.
Then he's gonna have to pump it through hay bales or something into the wetlands and filter
And
it.
that's where my house is.
Your house is above
Well, I mean,
his,
I know, but
What board is it?
it was,
but the water is going the opposite way of your house.
I mean, looking at the elevations on
you
this,
guys make the decision. I just
Well,
be right.
I think, like, if you look at the actual elevation numbers, it's clear, you can see the water's flowing in several different ways. The area where he's going, you can see the elevation starts at 163. I'm gonna put this upside down. You might want to come up here if you'd like.
No, get a good look at it, I
Yeah.
think.
So this is elevation 163, then 162, and then 160, 61. So the water is going to go this way, right?
Yep.
Then we have up here, we also have 161, 160, 159, 158. So we've got water going down in there. And then we have 158 and 157. So it goes this way, and then it also kind of slowly goes this way, but it's not as steep of an elevation going down into this direction. But this is why there's a wetland there, is because this is the area that has the lowest.
Yeah.
And we see also
Yeah, it's always wet.
156, 155, and 154. So the water's going to start moving
It's gonna go down
this way and this way. And so that's why there's a stream there, and that's why there's this wetland here. So that
Why can't I?
I've seen when it rains, and there's a lot of water there. I'm
Yeah.
not buying it.
I'm not doubting there's a lot of water there, but this is not adding to that.
Yeah, okay. I don't know where that water goes, because it goes and drains out here. When it comes out of that pipe, it goes out here, drains. It's gonna go right in that house.
And it's gonna go right down these elevations.
Because now we're going
I would hate to live there.
159.
Well,
I would hate to live at that new house there, because they're gonna get soaked.
Because this is 159, right? And this seems like a fairly flat area, because this is still 159
Yeah.
when you go right here. But then water's gonna go that way, and yeah, it's gonna go heading this way. So it looks to me like, based on the elevation, they're not changing anything right here, that water's either gonna sit here, it's probably gonna more sit here and down here.
Why would you build it? What? The water's gonna sit there. That makes no sense.
There's
Excuse me, I'm
a
sorry. it doesn't.
potential here, there's water.
I think that's why they were engineering it so that the water that would head this way would then, he can explain better, but I think that's why they put this system down here, because the water that's all gonna come towards this house has to go somewhere, and naturally, it's gonna wanna go in this direction
and the
across here.
foundation's only gonna be 4 feet deep anyway.
So they have to figure out a way for them to not get, themselves to not get flooded. And that's why this is my guess, is why you're putting the system in back here.
I'm doing a 4-foot foundation instead of 8.
Because that's the way the elevations are going, things are just stopping right here.
You have to worry about flooding.
Okay, you set up these.
Yep,
Yeah.
go up here, go up here.
But you set up these.
Thank you.
I'm Paul Donovan, and I own the property that's the whole length of their property.
Can you introduce yourself?
Paul Donovan.
And your address?
26 Robert English Lane.
26?
Yes. yeah.
Thank you.
You know, so I own the whole side property. I just have a question. I just don't understand something. So maybe in layman terms, you can help me. What is this the roof discharge system that's going here, and this little like stream? What is that? Sorry, I didn't understand the
If I may
terminology.
answer,
Yeah, go ahead.
actually, you have good questions. That is not really a stream. That is actually all the drainage that came from that subdivision. If you look at, they have the drainage basin, yeah. And,
Two drainage pits.
yeah, and they actually, that's part of what is flooded his property from your subdivision. That's exactly where that water is coming, and now we're accommodating that. Okay?
And that's another drainage pit up above by the house that said something about a roof.
Right here, yeah.
And so it's not one of those
Going to
ones
the-
you dig out. It's
Underground, it's below ground, yeah.
I just didn't understand some of the language.
No
Yeah. So
dumb questions.
that spot up there, you're seeing, they're not touching that. That's what's there currently, it's being left alone. The one out back, they're gonna have to do a culvert underneath their driveway, now just getting left.
An isolated wetland up here.
And then that, all their stormwater on their roof is just gonna go into a
last one.
subgrade basin that will allow it to filter out, rather than all kind of flood out at once.
Oh, I see it, right there. Okay.
All right. Any other thoughts, questions, comments from the audience?
No, I was just gonna say that, you know, just to add to the information, in the front of that property, there is that isolated wetland, which may be what affects Mr. Rourke and Mr. John Butkus?
Killers?
No, this one.
Oh, okay.
See these two? There's an isolated wetland there, so that, you know, probably the water that they're talking about that just follows
that
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it does.
I mean, because water's gonna just run to the lowest point, so anything that's up here is going to be flowing down. Water doesn't usually go up.
I mean, that whole area drops into what you call the isolated area.
Yep.
But that isolated area crosses the second paved road.
Yep,
The L shape through a pipe.
Yep.
Actually, a pipe in place there.
okay, there is a pipe in place there?
Yeah, it's called a 12-inch.
Yeah, it's something small.
Okay.
And that's the one that goes across the road and goes, okay.
Yeah,
And it goes where the abandoned ditch was and everything?
heads in that direction, yes.
Yep, I see.
No, it's across that paper road there.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is it crosses over the paper road and then there's like an abandoned ditch and it looks like stone walls or
Yeah,
something.
that was like
Yeah.
an original ditch.
Okay.
The Q circle.
Yeah, because then you see the elevations going down from there, so it's just gonna go this way, and then this one's coming this way. Okay.
Any other questions? So you don't have to go to planning?
Yeah, for that little extension of the road that we're doing.
You do have to go to planning?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
SE 84-0582, motion to approve as per plan submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Unanimous.
Thank you for your input.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much.
And we'll
It looks a lot better.
Do the
order
orders.
conditions at the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to appear, show up for
Because
that,
you have
feel
to
free.
go to planning anyway.
Yeah, we need the order of conditions for that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you very much. Appreciate your
So we
time.
can send a copy to planning when we do it.
Do it, okay.
When are you going to planning?
As soon as I get the order.
Okay, all right.
Could I just ask you one more question?
Yes,
Do you have a business card so I can get your name correct?
He didn't pay me enough money to print cards.
ET engineering?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ET engineering.
All right, I usually just like to identify the person here speaking, so I know that you know him, so I'll look you up.
Sorry.
Thank you,
It's in East.
He has my email address and my
thank you,
contact information.
okay.
I'll email Liz
Okay, great.
at planning board, I'll put you on it.
Okay,
Let her know that it got approved.
Okay, great.
That you're waiting on us on the order
Okay,
conditions.
super.
So you should be good to start moving
Okay,
forward with her.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
Have a good night now.
Thank you, you too. Thank you. All right, next up, a request for determination of applicability to build the 12 by 20 addition with 12 by 18 or 16 deck. My eyes are going weird. 18 deck. Project located at 224 Groveland Street. Is anybody here from the property? Hi.
We would like to put a small kitchen addition off the back of our house, but we're within approximately 60 feet of the wetlands. The addition will be contained in between our existing pool and the wetlands. And there'll be no foundation, just footing sonotubes and Bigfoots.
All right. So Nick and I went out there today, site walk. Like you mentioned, the nearest corner of the existing building is 59 feet away from a wetland. Where they're gonna put it is already in a disturbed area. It's grass and it seems to be all kind of fenced in.
Yep.
Yeah, so from the pool to the house. So you could almost draw a square right there and they're just gonna do it in this section.
Yeah, if you're looking at the mass mapper, one he gave us, that kind of white area,
Yep,
that's a pool. And it's all gonna be kind of contained.
okay,
That pool is gonna separate the addition from the wetland.
okay.
It's not going closer to the wetland, it's farther
So this
away.
addition's
So the
being
wetlands are
elevated
over
or it's
here.
on sonotubes, you said?
Yes.
Wetlands are over here.
Yeah,
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 and they're gonna,
yeah. And it's going
So
on,
there's no interference with the 35 or 25, so that's good.
yeah.
and it's sonotube, so,
Yep. It reminds me of another project we looked at, remember?
yeah.
Yep.
I did my whole in-law in sonotubes.
with spray foam now, it's really kind of a miracle.
And the deck's going to be to the side of you, is it?
Yes.
And it's already clear, there's no tree removal or anything else?
No.
Good,
Nothing.
all right.
No, there's nobody in the audience.
You guys sure know how to clean a room out.
Anything?
Motion for a negative determination.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right,
We're all
thank
set.
you.
Thank you.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Okay, next up, discussion on cease and desist for 185 Walnut Street.
Is that the solar thing?
No,
No.
different.
Different?
Yes.
He called me today. Couldn't make it, he's had to work. Invited us out there on Thursday, take a look at it. I think we should take a look and then, ask him to the next meeting. Once we've had a chance to go and really take a good look at it.
Jean, do you want to,
I
I'm
was just
sorry to
going to say, do you want
interrupt
the
you.
history on this?
Yes.
Yeah, might as well.
2-3 years ago, when Paul Bunker was chair, he had received a complaint and asked me to drive by the property. And I, at that time, just went out, parked my car, walked along the street and saw that there was reprocessed asphalt. The Schutter-Tuscarawas River is right there that flows, I think it's a Schutter-Tuscarawas, I'm not sure.
Pictures of.
Is it Swift Stream River that runs that way?
They're in a 200-foot riverfront where they put the reprocessed asphalt. As I was walking along the street, I heard people in the driveway, so I said hello and told them who I was, and they invited me in. And he has a pavement company, he's from the North Shore. And I made him aware that there was a complaint and I was coming down to look at it. I made him aware of the river on the other side of the stone wall, and that parking in the 200-foot would be an issue, and that he most likely would, want to talk to conservation. And he might want to talk to zoning and planning too, just because I'm not sure of what all the bylaws are with businesses and trucks and everything else. And I asked him to check with the building department too. And I took pictures and I sent them into Tony with a summary. And I can go back to the meeting and tell you exactly when that was submitted. And I was coming home this past few months ago or whatever when I saw it, and I saw a lot of paving trucks and machinery parked, and it looked like the parking lot had been expanded, and it's to the side. So if you're looking on Walnut Street, the house is here, and the river is over here, and there's all new parking area in there. So,
Was it grass before?
yes. If you look on Google Earth, you can see it
Yeah.
from 2023, which
I
is
remember
when I was.
going through,
Yeah,
and I thought it was grass, but I wasn't sure. It was grass when you went over there.
Yes.
Okay.
There was a little bit of reprocessed asphalt, but now there's a lot more, and it goes up in the back and everything, so.
And when you went over there, had they just put down asphalt, or had it been there?
It's not asphalt, it's that reprocessed.
Reprocessed.
I really can't remember what he said about 2-3 years ago, but I mean, I know I mentioned it, that you can't be having a parking because of the river's right on the other side, and it's got a protection area. But it, and I explained that he would want to come to conservation
Yeah.
before he does anything else.
All right, so he knew that. Okay.
But I never heard anything again until they detoured Washington Street in Whitman, so I had to go down along it. That's how I happened to be by it again. So.
And what did he say? He couldn't make it tonight?
He couldn't make it tonight. I think Gene mentioned he works on the North Shore. So he'd have to take the day off or something like that to be able to get here. But he invited us out Thursday. He's going to take that day off to meet us. I think start there and work our
But
way
we
out.
could do it after. We don't have to do it like at noon, right? Because you're going to be here anyway.
Yeah, he was pretty open on Thursday for time-wise.
So if we want to do it,
I could do it at probably anytime after 4:30.
and that way he doesn't have to take a day off from work.
Yeah, he might leave
Not a
early or
full day.
something like that, but
Yeah.
yeah. So if we want to shoot for 5?
Sure.
5 o'clock works.
I can't do Thursday night, so.
I mean, if we get 3 anyways, we don't want a 4th, so
Okay.
we already weren't inviting you
I won't
else.
be able to go, but,
Okay,
yeah. But
Just ask
can ask.
John.
We'll do it.
We
yeah.
can-
I'll send the invite to AJ, Chris, and Rich, see if we can get one more too.
Sure.
AJ said that he's working nights the whole week.
Next week too. Oh yeah, this week.
I
We're
don't know
still,
about this week.
it's
I
still
don't know
this
about
week.
Just this week is what he told me.
Gotcha. So I'll reach out to Chris and Rich.
So, and, yeah.
But at the very least, we'll have the 3 of us 5 p.m. Thursday. See what's going on.
Or if you can't make it at 5, then 5:30, maybe. I'll leave that up to you guys
Yeah.
as to how you want to handle
Whatever's
that.
good for you. 5:30 is fine. I mean, it stays
I'm not
light.
going. It's
Oh.
up, that's you.
It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Whatever's good for you.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him. See where he's at.
Do you have zoning Thursday night anyway?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, which doesn't start till 7, so.
yeah, all right. Because I don't want you staying up here. if, you
That's
know,
what I
you know.
said.
Nope, I'm here for zoning.
Yeah, all right.
Can we make you dinner?
He didn't say no right away. It depends on what
I
you're
don't
cooking.
know. I don't know. I was thinking of grilling out, but okay. All right.
Are we all invited?
I guess we can invite
I
everybody.
can't go Thursday night.
Sugar mama. Okay.
Stepping in the Blackstone or the propane grill down. That meeting.
All right, so we'll just put that off till the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty, so discussion on enforcement order for 900 Adams Street.
The representative had a conflict tonight. We did get a pretty significant packet in from them. To be honest, I haven't been through much of it yet. I believe I forwarded it to all of you already, right?
Yeah, you did today.
But
Oh, thank you.
they plan on being here the 22nd to present it and field questions and run through it with the commission, so.
What his name was.
Zoo,
Azu.
yeah.
Alright,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
900 Adams Street.
So we're putting it off until the next meeting?
Yeah.
Next meeting.
Yeah, you should all have that packet to,
His lawyer
I-
said
I
he couldn't
started
get here
reading
till like
through
9
it and-
PM tonight.
yeah, it's pretty significant. It's got quite a bit to it.
It's only 7.
Yeah, and I'm not a wetland scientist or an engineer, so it's like I have to look everything up that they're talking about. So.
Yeah, it kind of works out. We get a little extra time to dig into
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Building permits, site visits,
We went over what we
Discuss that.
Yeah.
had.
no complaints. Correspondence was the Ames Knoll roadway maintenance. Looks like they're gonna be fixing that road.
Yeah, I don't think any expansion like that, just
Yeah.
maintaining what's there.
It looked like there was a little bit, the closest I could see to a wetlands was still significantly far away on that road. So they're basically just repaving that section.
Yeah, they
And-
kind of skirt the 100-foot, it looks like.
Yeah, it's just outside of 100 foot, so nothing that really, they mentioned it was a courtesy thing, which I thought was very
We
kind.
appreciate.
Yeah, much appreciated. Okay.
Motion to adjourn. I'm sorry. I stole your thunder.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Can I, just one thing?
Oh, yeah.
Since I got off the board in 2013, there have been new policies, regulations, and bylaws. So I would like to have a meeting, and so we're not meeting in August.
Correct.
So I'd like to have a meeting in September, not on one of our regular nights, the third meeting in September. We'd still have to advertise it, and the public can't show up, but I would like to discuss all our bylaws, regulations, and policies that have been put in effect since, for the last 10, 15 years, I guess, So, and if you or Lynn can get copies of everything to everyone, so, sometime in the month of August. so we can all go and we can all understand them.
Yep.
Because we've got a lot of new people, including myself, on here, and I don't even know everything. So I think it would be good to have the whole commission just dedicate one night to doing that.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be a Tuesday, whatever works with everyone.
And good to have that paper to just to fall back on of any exceptions that
Yeah.
comes up.
Yeah.
or-
Yeah, and I think that's a very good idea, and just to expound on what you just said, because when I came on board in 2021, there was nothing for us to go by and to know and understand. We were always postponing meetings because we were missing this or missing that, and we had to continue. So that's what drove a lot of the new processes.
Right, yeah. And I just think everyone, including myself, needs to know
Yep.
everything, you know?
Yep.
I know about this, but I don't know about this, and, you
Yep.
know.
And I
it
think-
would be good for everyone.
It's a good tool to have.
I think at the time when something does get submitted with an NOI, that each person needs to know how to go through that checklist and understand it, because it's very,
Well, we may need more than one night.
oh, yeah. But what it does is it eliminates, because you know at a glance, or pretty much, if we're missing any one of those required documents, we can't have the meeting, we can't put them on the agenda because something's missing. So it really eliminates all that craziness we used to go through for a couple
And
of
it
years.
saves the applicant time and money.
And money,
I was gonna say,
yeah,
money
and that's
too.
the
Right, the
biggest
first time.
thing, that's the biggest thing.
Because you think Azu and Ken Thompson came tonight for free?
No,
Yeah,
You know?
Not at all.
That was the
Yeah.
thing, that spurred the checklists. We could tell, we could email them and say,
I know,
hey.
I've been before conservation commissions and zoning boards, and it gets expensive, you
it
know?
does,
Yeah.
Very expensive.
it does.
I've
Another
actually
thing-
given up projects because it got so expensive going to planning board and everything.
So in September, we also should consider bringing in any new ideas, because I know with the, when we do the order of conditions, I know that form's been used forever, but there should be some updates to that as well. And we
Well, I
also,
think we discuss everything and make a list of what we think should, and then we could discuss that at a meeting, so,
one of the things that I also noticed when coming on board, the fees hadn't been updated since 1990s.
I was gonna say, when was the last time the last bylaw and updating, like pictures?
So
of-
when I got on the board, we were looking at it, and Kathy Creighton came on board, and she said, I wrote those in 1990. So we updated it to I did a comp study of all the towns around, and we brought our fees up, but also should be reviewed every 3 years.
right.
And so we're coming up on our 3rd year.
Yeah,
Well, like I
people-
said, it'll be more than one night we'll be doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the one big meeting kind of run over thing, then we got a few things we want to get into, and we can start tagging at the end of meetings.
Right, yeah. We
Let's go back
we
to
have
it.
6 things we want to discuss, do 2 at this meeting, 2 at,
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially you can kind of look at the agenda ahead, and
Yeah.
you usually know when there's going to be,
Right.
a light
we get
one.
a 40-minute meeting, let's spend 20 minutes working on some other stuff.
Exactly.
If we got a
Perfect.
2.5-hour meeting, we'll probably not get
Skip
into
it,
the
yeah,
fees on
yeah.
that night.
Yeah.
But it'll be good to have that one big meeting, we can kind of put together that.
Yeah.
So Lynn, you can pick a meeting and set the tone and set the email out to Nick and let us know what you want, what you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, what days are we allowed to use this room? Because I know.
Oh, wait a minute, we did have correspondence. Didn't we get correspondence from Michelle Gerard?
Oh, yes.
Oh, she forgot
We
to tell
could,
you.
Yes.
we could use the other room too, for something like this.
Especially where we're not expecting.
If we're not doing anything for the
There's always an
public.
open room.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah, we can always get them. And I think they've got cameras now in every room, don't they?
Yeah, they have them in that room.
I know they're in that room.
I'm not sure about the cameras, but-
Downstairs they do as well, in that room, when you first come
Yeah,
in.
so, we can make it work.
Yeah, Kevin's pretty resourceful. Worst case, he sets something up just
Yeah.
staring at us, and
Yeah.
Just getting back to correspondence, there was an update from Michelle Gerard from the last meeting, when I had reached out and asked for some training sessions.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
Lynn
yeah.
had emailed her. Lynn got a response back, so
Oh, yeah, forgot to forward it. I gotta find it. She was very happy and said, thought that it would, I guess they were looking at a couple towns.
Yeah, trying
But
to
the
bring
fact
like,
that we have a wetland right outside town hall really was an awesome thing.
Yeah, plenty of parking, everything.
Right.
Could easily host a good amount of people.
She said if it was gonna be at Ames Knoll, they actually have to get like permission from the state to do it.
Permission.
So that would, take a little bit more time, but to basically, have it right here and it's town property and
Right.
stuff like that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
So, I'll forward that to you, Nick. I completely forgot.
and the only reason why I knew about it, because she put me on it as well. And I'm like,
Because you're the one who emailed
well,
and
I
said,
did email her, and I'm like,
said, hey, why are
can we
you
have
sending
something
us
down this
the
way, because
state?
we never get anything over here.
Do you want to go to Acton?
No, I
forget
don't
what these other towns I was looking at, I was like,
Marion,
no, that was,
no,
it's a lot,
Mattapoisett, down the Cape,
a lot of it was west.
west and
It
central.
was like Air, or,
Yeah.
it was out
Let
down
me
by
see if I can
Adams. and
find-
Yep.
I'll read it if I can find
It
it.
was west of Worcester,
Michelle-
so it's an hour and a half.
Okay.
Michelle Gerard. How come it's not popping up? There we go.
Okay.
Hose. I don't see it. I'll find it and I'll forward it to everybody. But it was positive.
Okay.
And she said she would get in touch with us shortly.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool too, to kind of run through that proposed trail,
Yeah.
kind of looking at activity like that.
Well, even right outside of Scott's office, there's that beautiful wetland in there.
Yeah. That's what that trail's supposed to go, right from here, kind of behind the library and run out. And it's town land there. We need
Yeah.
permission from the town, but that should be easier to get than
And
the state.
we were fortunate to go to Island Grove the last time because DEP is the state, so he took us out there and it was like,
Yeah.
it was okay.
Yeah.
But that was only an hour, not 4.
Oh, I don't know, we were out there a couple hours.
I was out.
Yeah, we
Hour
were.
and a half.
For
For me.
Anyway, okay, so,
I think you stayed.
yeah, I did.
But I had to
Make a
get back to
motion.
work or something.
Did you ask for a motion?
No, because I thought we were gonna,
Okay.
so are we going to, the meeting that you're talking about, tack it on, like, regulation or topic 1 at the end of a short meeting? Or that and having a separate meeting?
I'd like to have a separate meeting to go over, not so much the DEP regulations, just the Abington stuff. Whatever.
State bylaws.
The Abington bylaws.
Yeah, bylaws. It's not
Regulations
state,
and
excuse me.
policies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
okay.
then branch out from there. If we
And then if we have other questions, we can put it
Right,
at
and
the
we can
meetings.
go from
We have
there.
stuff
But
we wanna
I
dig
think
into, we
we
can-
all need to read them together so we all know what each one means and what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be good for all of us to be on the same page, basically, so
Exactly, yeah.
so nothing would be like, well, I don't know.
and the background too, like, well, why is it this way?
Right,
It's
yeah,
because,
exactly, yep. Yeah.
We did this and we found that.
And didn't you find some typos in the? thing
Yeah,
like that too? So,
yeah,
I mean-
Lynn found that typo.
Oh, the typo.
So most of the boards do this, and I know it was myself and Haggerty, and we had my wife as the secretary, and we reviewed all the selectmen policies at one point, and then presented to the selectmen and made changes and stuff. So I think it's just good to review everything,
Yeah.
especially when some of us don't know all of them,
Yeah,
Procedures as well?
And we don't know the background on them, like you said,
Right.
You might read it and say, well, why the hell they do that,
Yeah.
well, with the bylaw, I'm not, because that was in 2003. And then 2006, there was a typo that was introduced. Because we're supposed to be a 200-foot buffer for ponds, rivers.
Not 20?
Right.
When I first came on the commission, I was like, oh, it's 20, and I didn't think anything of
Yeah.
it.
No,
And
we
then we
put
made
the
a
two.
decision at a meeting based on that 20.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. So then, when we had a issue regarding, we had a contentious thing going on
Yep,
with
an applicant.
someone about a stream, and I started reading the Rivers Protection Act and talking to DEP, what does this mean? I I spent hours with them, I think, and they were very patient with me. And then I thought, wait a minute, you can't have a bylaw that's less strict, right? So Jean was kind enough to talk to the librarian
Pulled
and
records.
town clerk, and they found it had been a typo.
Yeah.
It should have been
I
200.
vaguely remember doing that,
Yeah.
making it 200. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not certain
And that's around ponds.
ponds
Yeah.
and lakes, yeah.
Right, yes.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
bylaw's pretty short anyways, we can run through it pretty quick.
And most of the regulations were done through
Surrounding towns, and looking to see what other towns, our size with our population,
Yeah,
what they were doing and what, I mean, plus a lot of it came from Michelle Gerard and MACC, which MACC was just amazing when we took the classes. I mean, there was only one instructor, I can't remember, that was the bag class.
There's
right?
only one back class.
Yeah. And,
It was still informative, but
yeah.
So I don't know the background behind what was going on with the town bylaw, but I think it's easy to go through, explain, discuss. I feel like when I first started, there was a lot of acronyms that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And I always got tied up about ILSF. I was calling it ISLF or ISFL and stuff like that. So yeah, in looking at the calendar, do we want to shoot for, I can't do Wednesdays, but do we want to shoot for Thursdays? Or
Well,
Mondays?
I have no problem doing Tuesdays.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah.
instead of
just
the
hit that middle
9th,
Tuesday.
Said instead of the 9th or the 23rd, we could do it the 16th or the 30th.
okay.
okay.
I'd prefer the 16th. I think I got something coming up on the 30th.
I don't see any reason why
So you want
16th
to
won't
put
work.
that in now?
Yeah, I think informally, I think I'll
Yeah.
hit everyone. This is something we'd really like to have a full
Right, yeah,
everybody
we
on.
want
in
everyone
person
here,
here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it feels kind of like a waste. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
let me reach out to everyone, including you all. Take a good look at your calendar when you get home. Make
Yeah.
sure.
And then just check with Nancy, make sure you can reserve the room.
Yeah.
Do we have 2 more meetings in July?
Just one more meeting.
Just one more July and then
And then
August
we're
is
off-
up?
We're off.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll have the 3 meetings in September, 2 in October, and then 1 in November, 1 in December.
We don't have November on the calendar.
We don't? Thought we do.
Not the calendar I have. Actually, it's right in front of me.
Oh.
It's the one I was given, but I got nothing for
Is it
November.
because, is the 11th on a Tuesday? Tuesday?
Yeah, I thought we did get something in the mail saying there was something on the 11th.
Oh,
It is. The 11th is a Tuesday. And then we said no to Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving week.
week because we haven't been able to get quorums. Okay. I don't know if we want to change it to the 4th or 18th or skip November.
Yeah, I mean, we could always see what we got when we get closer to it too.
Yeah.
It should be a somewhat quiet time for applications since you can't delineate that time of year. But
People
We'll
might
get a better
their-
understanding at the beginning of October anyways, to see what the
Yeah.
business is and agendas.
because at the end of the day, if somebody puts an application and says they want it seen in 21 days, we gotta make it happen.
Unless we can get them to continue.
That's what, yeah, if they push for it. Generally, people just want to get along, so they get along.
Right.
But you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, as of now, I don't have anything on November scheduled.
Okay, well, that's good. It's good to know. We'll have to consider, yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we might have to have a November meeting.
Well, we might have to have a couple of meetings just to go over all the stuff that we're going to be discussing. And when we run through the NOI checklist and the ANRAD process and
The fees.
fees.
Please.
you know.
Has it really been 3 years?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was one of the first things
I just remember being shocked because Rockland was charging like 10 times as much as
I
we
was
were.
gonna say, how- we're lower end of it.
We were, I think ours were like 25 and
we were the
50, and everybody was
cheapest.
like 150, 250. I'm like, well, we're really losing out
We were the
here.
cheapest in the South Shore.
Yeah, we
that's for
were.
sure.
By far, right?
It was funny. No, you know who I didn't hear from? I reached out to Whitman.
Never heard back.
Never heard that.
Nope. So it was funny because my husband's their backup. I'm like, what's up with them?
Who do they have now?
No one right now, I believe.
They're using Tom a lot.
Or Tom.
I know.
I just hope he keeps answering the phone so they don't venture out further.
Yeah. He, yeah.
I don't know. Don't know what happened. Okay.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right, and now I'll take a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.